The moment I step into the ballroom, I know I've made a mistake. Crystal chandeliers drip light onto polished marble floors, and every corner of the room hums with quiet authority, the kind that comes from old money, old names, and people who expect to be listened to. This isn't just a wedding reception. It's a showcase of influence. Michael's hand settles at the small of my back, steady and grounding. "Breathe," he murmurs, his voice calm, analytical, the same tone he uses before surgery. "We belong here." Leo tugs irritably at his bow tie. "Mom, this thing is trying to kill me." I crouch down and straighten it, smiling despite the knot forming in my stomach. "Just a little longer, okay? Pool time after." We move forward with the crowd, until the room seems to tilt. I see her. The angle of her head. The way she leans in when she laughs. I haven't seen that gesture in more than a decade, but my body recognizes it instantly. The bride turns mid-toast, champagne raised, and our eyes meet across the ballroom. Grace. My sister. The glass trembles in my hand. I hadn't recognized the groom's name on the invitation. Daniel Brooks meant nothing to me then. I hadn't connected it. I hadn't known she changed her name. Her gasp slices through the hum of conversation. Silence spreads in a widening circle as heads turn, curiosity sharpening. Behind her, my mother's face drains of color, then flushes violently. My father moves fast, instinctively, stepping between us like a human barricade, just as he always did. "What are you doing here?" My mother hisses, loud enough to draw attention. For half a second, the old shame claws up my throat. I'm 21 again, standing in the rain with a suitcase. The front door slamming behind me. Michael steps forward smoothly. "My wife is a guest," he says evenly. "She's the CEO of Medova. We were personally invited by the groom." The name ripples outward. I hear it, whispers, recognition, recalibration. "So." A woman nearby turns sharply. "That's Amber Collins." The memory hits like cold rain. "If you're too ungrateful to help at the clinic, don't come back." The slam of the door. The finality. But that girl doesn't exist anymore. I stand now in tailored silk and confidence earned the hard way. I didn't disappear, I survived. Dr. Daniel Brooks approaches, confusion knitting his expression. "You know the CEO of Medova?" He asks my parents, then turns to me. "We've been trying to partner with them for months. Your monitoring systems are transforming post-surgical care." Grace's smile wavers. My parents exchange panicked looks. The room leans closer. I could shatter everything right here. Expose 11 years of lies. Tell him how they claimed I dropped out. How my tuition vanished into Grace's future. Instead, I lift my glass slightly. "Hello, Grace. Congratulations." The simplicity lands harder than any accusation. She flinches. Leo looks up at me curious. "Mom, is that lady your friend?" Daniel's eyes sharpen. "Grace," he says slowly. "You told me your sister was," he trails off. Grace struggles, truly struggles for words. I've never seen that before. I could leave. Slip away quietly. Protect her moment. But sometimes retreat is just fear pretending to be kindness. "And this is my wife," Daniel announces moments later. Arms sliding around Grace's waist. Stanford graduate. Brilliant mind behind her family's medical practice. 10 feet away, I watch her nod, perfectly composed, while doctors cluster around her. Her pearls catch the light as she tilts her head. The tell. Nearby, a woman studies my name badge. Medova. Her eyes widen. "Your keynote at the medical summit was extraordinary." "Thank you," I reply softly. Across the room, Grace stumbles through a technical explanation. A physician frowns. "I thought Stanford phased out that protocol years ago." Her laugh rings too high. Daniel notices. My father appears beside me, voice sharp. "You need to leave. You're ruining her day." "I was invited," I say calmly. "Perhaps you should explain why my presence is such a problem." He can't. And for the first time in my life, I don't feel small. If you're enjoying this story, give it a like, it really helps the channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. Once the shock of my arrival settles, the room doesn't relax, it rearranges itself. I feel it happening in real time. People begin drifting. Not toward the bride. Not toward my parents. Toward me. A silver-haired woman in an elegant suit studies my badge again. Medova, she repeats. Your post-operative monitoring system reduced readmission rates by over 20% at Northwestern, didn't it? 22. I correct gently. And we're expanding to 4 more hospital networks next quarter. Her eyebrows lift. Cards are exchanged. Names remembered. 10 feet away, Grace is still holding court, still smiling, but something has gone off script. A cardiologist presses her with a follow-up question. She answers, then pivots too quickly, redirecting the conversation. I recognize the maneuver instantly. She's stalling. Michael leans in slightly, voice low. They're noticing. I know, I say. My father reappears, positioning himself between me and a small knot of guests. His tone sharp with practiced authority. This isn't the time or place, he snaps. You've made your point. I haven't made any point, I reply evenly. I'm attending a wedding. A guest nearby, a tall man with a name badge reading Chief of Cardiology, glances between us. Authority shifts. Subtly. Irreversibly. Leo tugs on my hand. Mom, can we have cake now? In a minute, buddy. He looks past me, eyes bright with curiosity. Is that lady your sister? You showed me pictures of Stanford when you were in college. The words land like dropped glass. Grace freezes. Daniel turns slowly. Stanford, he repeats. Amber, you went to Stanford too? Class of 2014. I answer calmly. A man beside him inhales sharply. The Amber Collins? He asks Daniel. Her predictive algorithms are being cited everywhere. We cut complications by nearly a third using her system. The truth starts moving faster than anyone can stop it. Daniel's attention leaves Grace completely now, locking onto the conversation forming around me. He listens. He asks questions. The professional kind, precise, validating, informed. Grace tries to follow, but she's out of her depth. I see it on Daniel's face first, then on hers. Memory flashes, rain pounding against a dorm window. A bank statement that didn't make sense. My college fund emptied. A package from Grace arriving the same week. Photos from Cancun. White sand and smiling faces. I'd known then. I just hadn't understood. Daniel pulls Grace aside. Their whispers sharpen into something heated. I went to Stanford, he says, voice carrying just enough. I've never heard your name. Not once. Her explanation unravels mid-sentence. Stanford doesn't offer remote medical degrees, he says flatly. Her face drains. She looks at me not with anger now, but panic. Daniel steps back from her, straightens his tie. Then deliberately he walks away from his bride, and toward me. Let's find somewhere quieter, he says. We settle into a dim alcove near the edge of the ballroom. 2 chairs. A small table. Soft lighting that reveals more than it hides. You didn't know she had a sister, I say gently. He shakes his head. She said you dropped out. That you couldn't handle the pressure. I don't flinch. I worked 3 jobs, I say. Coffee shop mornings. Hospital reception nights. Call center weekends. His brow furrows. Why? No family support. The surgeon's mind recalculates everything. And Stanford, he asks. I shake my head. Community college. Then State University. He exhales slowly. Your college fund was redirected. I finish. To Grace. Across the room, my parents hover beside her like panicked sentries. They're whispering urgently now, watching us like they're losing control of something fragile and expensive. Michael approaches casually, phone angled just enough to record without appearing obvious. Everything okay? He asks. Yes, I say. And for once I mean it. My mother swoops in moments later, voice high and artificial. Daniel, someone from Boston General wants to meet you. In a moment, he replies without looking at her. She turns, smiling too brightly at a nearby guest. Amber's always been competitive, jealous of her sister's success. The words hang. Michael tilts his head, genuinely curious. Which success, he asks. The 3 jobs she worked to pay tuition? Or sleeping on friends' couches after you took her college money? Silence crashes down. Nearby guests have stopped pretending not to listen. Leo looks up again, confused. Aren't they your family, Mom? I kneel, meeting his eyes. They're relatives, sweetheart. Family is different. Grace finds me in the bathroom minutes later, mascara trembling in her hand. Why are you doing this? She whispers fiercely. I wash my hands slowly. Doing what? Ruining my wedding. I didn't do anything, I say quietly. I showed up. Her voice breaks. You were supposed to stay gone. That's the truth. And we both know it. When I return to the ballroom, the shift is complete. Guests circle us. Business cards appear. Conversations deepen. Grace fades to the edges, her smile brittle, her story collapsing under its own weight. My father tries one last time. Let's focus on Grace's accomplishments, he says loudly. No one responds. Sometimes silence is the verdict. Michael catches my eye. We've stayed long enough. Leo bounces. Pool time. Yes, I smile. Pool time. Before we leave, I press a small envelope into Daniel's hand. A courtesy. A closing of a door. Congratulations, I tell him sincerely. He nods. I'd like to visit Moldova. Professionally. My assistant will arrange it. Grace watches us, her smile cracking like old porcelain. As we walk out, unhurried, intact, whispers follow us. But unlike 11 years ago, they don't touch me. If this chapter hit close to home, comment below what you would have done in this situation. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. We leave the ballroom without drama. No shouting. No tears. No final speeches. Just the quiet, unmistakable authority of people who no longer need to explain themselves. In the hotel lobby, Leo spins in a small circle, cape flaring behind him. Pool in 10 minutes, Michael tells him, ruffling his hair. Leo cheers and sprints toward the elevators like nothing world-ending just happened, because for him it didn't. For him this is normal. For me it's everything. As the elevator doors close, I catch one last glimpse through the glass. Daniel standing still near the bar, watching Grace with a look I recognize too well. The look someone gets when the story they believe their entire life suddenly stops making sense. Some weddings mark beginnings. This one marked an ending. A month later, sunlight spills across the concrete floors of my office, warming the long conference table where Moldova contracts lie neatly stacked. One of them is worth 8 figures. Another hospital network, another validation that numbers, unlike families, don't lie. Dr. Daniel Brooks is here to see you. My assistant says through the intercom. I pause. Send him in. He looks different now. Smaller somehow. The confidence dulled by truth. He doesn't sit until I gesture. I won't take much of your time, he says. I needed to tell you something. I let silence do the work. I've filed for an annulment, he continues. Everything Grace told me was fabricated. Stanford. Her role at the clinic. All of it. I nod. I'm not surprised. There's more, he adds. When I started digging, I uncovered billing irregularities at your parents' clinic. Medicare fraud. 15 years worth. 15. Right around the time I was told my college fund was gone. I reported it, he says quietly. They're under investigation. The weight lands heavy but distant, like thunder heard from inside a reinforced building. I'm sorry, he says, for pulling you back into this. You didn't, I reply honestly. They did. A long time ago. He hesitates. Will you get involved? I consider it. I could destroy them completely. One phone call. One statement. The final collapse. But revenge doesn't always look like fire. No, I say at last. I'll provide factual records if requested. Nothing more. I didn't build my life to revolve around their downfall. Relief crosses his face. After he leaves, I stare out over the city skyline. I built this view, brick by brick, decision by decision. Without them, my phone buzzes. Grace. I don't answer. Later that afternoon, Michael texts, Zuday. Leo wants you there. I smile and shut down my laptop. 6 months pass. Life expands quietly. The investigation closes the clinic. My parents vanish from professional circles that once bent around them. Grace leaves voicemail after voicemail, first begging, then threatening, then apologizing. I delete them all without listening. Then one day, a letter arrives. Handwritten. She doesn't ask for money. She doesn't ask for forgiveness. She writes one sentence that matters. You were never the problem. I fold the letter and place it in a drawer. Some apologies don't reopen doors. They just let you stop carrying the weight. Weeks later, at a medical technology conference, I spot Grace across the exhibition floor, hair pulled back, no pearls, no performance. She's listening to a speaker about certification programs, clutching an internship application I authorized through Medova. Our eyes meet. No nod of reconciliation. No embrace. Just acknowledgement. Some relationships are completed, not continued. That evening, I finalize paperwork for something new. A scholarship. Not named after my parents. Named after the name I reclaimed. 20 students. Full tuition. No family support required. In our backyard garden, Leo waters pepper plants with solemn focus. They were thirsty, he explains proudly. Michael hands me lemonade, our fingers brushing easily. This is it, he says quietly. I look at our son. At the life we built without lies, without conditions. Yes, I reply. This is it. Later, as the sun lowers, Leo asks, some plants need more space, right? Yes, I say, pressing soil gently around new roots. Some don't grow well when they're crowded. Like people. I smile. Exactly like people. If you're enjoying this story, give it a like, it really helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this. And comment below what you would have done in this situation. Because sometimes the greatest revenge is growing somewhere they can't reach you anymore.